Last time on the Great Ace Attorney 2.
Lord Barak van Zeeks is a top-class prosecutor, but even he can't always push the right verdict through. Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scottish Yard suspected Van Zeeks initially. We've done a very thorough investigation. And the conclusion we reached is that Lord Van Zeeks is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom.
I totally didn't take any bribes of any kind at all.
What? Madame Tusspells? Is this supposed to mean something?
You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We could go now if you like.
No, we don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow.
But that's where Hurley is.
What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes. But why are all the people so still?
Oh, he doesn't realise.
Yeah.
They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they?
There's no way anybody could make models of people that are this realistic.
There he is.
There's your boy.
He is.
I do so wonder which part of this picture is going to move.
Mr. Sholmes has his own wax statue in here. Really?
Well, he is world famous after all. But look, Runo, you can kick this Hurley and he doesn't move a muscle.
I'm going to kick him right in the ghoulies. You can't go around
That's brilliant.
Oh my god, I love it!
What's the situation with that?
I want you to know that I can hear you.
My temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago.
Let me guess. Someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services?
For a mere £500, I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment.
Oh, words to that effect.
I'm just curious. Is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps?
Whoever suggested such a thing to you?
The wax cauldron slowly rises.
Well, it was
Your temporary waxwork over there. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Disillusion Plays the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, where we play the games and do the voices.
Yeah.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Sarah. I
Nice.
thought Pete was going to do it.
I know it's because
You've done it literally every single other intro.
You said you were like, it put you off that one time. So I was like, okay, I won't do it for you.
I saw him nod and I'm like, okay, I'll say it then.
Well, and as you've become so used to from our production and value, this is a very professional intro that at no point will drag on. But if for some reason you've listened to this initial bit and haven't immediately clicked off of the video and you are new to the channel, why don't you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell to receive notifications about when we post more extremely professional, well-done content.
What do you mean, Taylor? It's professional and well done every time.
Absolutely. I don't like the way that he's slandering
This sounds
our...
a little bit like slander.
Yes. It's quite a lot like slander, I think. I'm not very keen on that.
Ah, yes. Herlock got kicked in the shin.
Kicked in the shin and did a very...
Some real life waxwork.
And did a very slow animation that I enjoyed
I
greatly.
love it. I think it's great.
My dear Madame Tusspells, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead.
Along with your head.
Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police.
Why ever not?
She's turned as white as a sheet.
Because you have at your disposal, I might add, a great detective whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. Though, please be aware that I prefer... No, I insist upon payment in advance. And then she tells him to sod off.
Sacre bleu.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Very well.
Oh, my goodness. Dear Iris, look, I seem to have actually successfully pulled the wool over somebody's eyes.
Hurley, there is always a first time for everything.
There are such gullible people here in London.
What bothers me about this is if you look closely at Madame Tusspells' arm, you can see where her skin is overlapping the band.
Oh, yeah, on that one bit.
Yeah. I guess it's to like signify the bend in a hand, the wrist.
No, it's not the wrist bit. It's the bit near the buckle.
It's further down, yeah.
It's near the buckle there.
Oh.
I wonder if that's actually like a curve, like it's another side of the shape, but there's no shadows in this, is there? There's no shading on it. It's there, they're unlit.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's what's going on there. Anyway.
Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we?
In fact, I think
best of luck, Mr. Sholmes.
I think it definitely is a different side of her arm, actually.
Would you stop looking at my arm, please? It's making me feel very
I'm just saying because she moved a little bit, and so before I engage my analytical processes. I don't know. I know, but I just thought it's shown, so it's probably going to be like, oh yes, I'm going to be a bit.
I'm going to put some flair on it.
My analytical process. I know it's processes.
My analytical processes are not shared
My
with
analytical processes. I'm going to say processes anyway. Before I engage my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something.
Bruno, what's a processes?
I have no idea.
What, pray, is behind the curtain?
That is the Tusspells special exhibit. There is an extra charge to see it.
Is it going to be 5 shillings?
50 shillings.
Oh, 50,
50
sorry.
shillings, yeah.
Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a serial killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder? Is he trying to get a free show?
Yeah.
I like to imagine that, like, as he's flicked his finger forward, he's actually hit the brim of Madame Tusspells' hat.
He's actually grabbed hold of the brim of a hat there.
Do you mind, monsieur?
That's why she looks so upset.
Absolutely none. There is nothing amiss behind there. Absolutely
Is it absolute? Is it absolument?
Absolument non.
Absolument no.
Yeah. Nothing amiss, madame.
Nope.
Oh, Sarah.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Sacre bleu, indeed.
What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? You can't possibly pretend that we can't see it.
I was hoping you wouldn't see that.
I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond, for free, before the situation worsens.
This is where he'll have been the one that knocked it over.
Yeah.
Oui, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only a soupçon.
Well done.
Well,
Merci.
the little S. The little C with the squiggle.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is a grave.
Number 139.
I must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier.
Okay, that would be 50 shillings, please.
The Tusspells special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. Why I feel the need to tell you right now, I'm not sure. And yet, somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however? Oh, he's the guy. He was one of the jurors.
Was he?
Oh, yeah.
Way back.
Oh.
Do you remember?
Yes,
Yes.
I do, yes. Oh, blimey, good memory.
Well, I mean, once in a blue moon, right?
Take the compliment.
Is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor?
Yes, lying peacefully. He's not dead, I promise.
Well then, perhaps, Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself.
I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact.
What?
Yes, his skin is quite warm. I was snuggled up to it earlier because I was freezing in this freezing cold exhibit.
Ew.
As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. Much to Miss Tusspells' chagrin, I'm sure. So, allow me to present my customary conclusions.
No,
and
here comes
you know what that means.
Best
Here
buckle
comes
up,
this
Iris.
logic and reasoning spectacular again.
Fingers on buzzers, audience contestants. The first. Oh, he's not doing it. Is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit?
Is that a fat joke, Mr. Sholmes?
Why would you say that?
And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime.
She looks as pale as candle wax.
I mean, I don't see any difference, honestly.
Root, I don't understand.
So, Madame Tusspells, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work.
Oh, goody.
There it
The
is.
Great Deduction! The game is afoot, not an arm or a leg.
Oh, Runo, I'm very disappointed. He didn't say the thing.
I know. I'm sure that'll be there at the end.
Yeah.
To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The little click.
Where are these spotlights coming from?
The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some £200?
That is all my own money.
So, what does this large sum of money reveal? Not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tusspells. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall,
Yes,
which
it's you
is my
bumbling
my
buffoon.
jacket. That's not where she was looking. The significance of the £200 is revealed by that public notice. Waxwork for sale. Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of £200.
How many shillings to a pound?
Sorry?
How many shillings are to a pound?
Oh,
That's a good question.
I don't know.
That is a that is an old currency that we no longer use, so I don't know. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. As Sarah quickly Googles the...
Don't tell everyone. Don't spoil the illusion.
My goodness, hang on a minute.
He's still going?
20.
20 shillings.
There we are.
And 12 pence equals 1 shilling.
There we are.
So Herlock is doing all of this for £2.5 pounds?
Yep.
£2.5.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Well done.
again, adjust it for inflation. Now, let us explore the next
Add a few
curiosity.
zeros on, and
Let
there you
us
go.
explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you.
None.
Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. nor does making deductions in mind. But anyway, what dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the £200. It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively.
What are you suggesting? I hope nothing illicit.
He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of £200. But only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what an extortionate amount he was paying.
No, see, that happens to me after I've ordered magic cards for too large a sum, and then I get the cards in the mail, and then I check the receipt, and I'm like, oh, I spent way too much money on cardboard.
Did I really spend that much? Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result? The scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price.
Oh.
Aren't I funny?
Yes, I'm laughing ecstatically, Hurley.
Iris, dear, could you please be quiet? Daddy's working. We can only pray
No,
that the
Iris's father
dreams
is
are-
definitely doing well in Japan, yes.
I'm sorry, Vito. What was that? Could you
No,
repeat that for me?
definitely
Did you
doing
just say
well.
my daddy's dead?
No, of course not. I said definitely doing spectacularly and is live and
Yes,
hale and
I'm-
hearty.
Yes, I'm sure you did.
We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret. Topic 1. Sold for cash.
Sold for cash.
Topic 2.
Waxwork. Location.
Okay. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly.
Ah, but it's elementary, my dear. What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man
Young?
standing over there.
This is
22.
19th century
This
London,
this
Taylor.
man looks like he's got a mortgage and 3 children.
And let's check the court record. Oh, he's 21.
Ugh.
I mean,
Look
having
at that chin. My goodness.
children can age you.
Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief.
Do you mind giving me a bit of personal space there, mate?
It's like,
You're getting a bit touchy-feely for my
perhaps,
liking.
perhaps it's a drone bee's brother.
Nah.
Such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign, which I love bestowing, by the way, to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman currently investigating this museum, which is probably why he hasn't he hasn't broken eye contact with me this entire time.
No, I'm just wondering how you managed to breathe and talk.
I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay.
What are you talking about?
The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards. But nothing. Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him, with the particularly unsightly visage.
Speak for yourself. I've had to stare at your ugly mug all day.
I've been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork.
That's because he is, you stupid fool. I mean, but you.
Your reaction
was a waxwork last night.
Yeah. Jeez. Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madam. I noticed at once, of course. Observe.
3p.
The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is obviously the price tag.
I found his scarf on sale, I'll have you know.
Thruppence.
Thruppence! I couldn't do it. What the hell? Thruppence. A tragically low price, you might say. Though, perhaps the going...
3 pence.
I'm glad you find it so amusing, Taylor. I will be sure to mock the crap out of you when you can't do so.
You mean like you already do?
Ooh! Meow, boys, put the claws away.
Though perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks.
I was young enough for your mum.
I'm gonna laugh so much if, like, he's the real one and the other guy is the waxwork, and it's just like, I just
probably,
did everything
yeah.
you
Oh,
said.
that's absolutely going to be the thing, for sure. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant £200. The sort of plucky behaviour that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Scottish Yard. Frick! And that's because I fell over myself.
No.
The sort of plucky behaviour that's sure to attract the attention of Scottish Yard.
That's better.
Very good.
Isn't that so, madame?
I feel like we almost need a gavel to censor out that heinousness.
I mean, to be fair.
I do not.
Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon.
Oh dear.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
He's just having a little sleepy. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle.
Well, at least Susato isn't here to try to tell me that they were actually brilliant observations.
I heard that, Mr. Ryunosuke. Mr. Naruto.
Mr. Ryunosuke.
I'm going to put you in this butt in a minute.
I see I've stunned you all into silence.
Yes, with your stupidity.
You have, Hurley. You have.
Oh dear.
And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot.
The irony of Iris referring to someone as a young lady is not lost on me.
If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Sholmes.
I presume it's how brilliant my deduction was? The notorious Naruhodo 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow.
Actually, it's several, but I thought one would get your attention more.
I don't want to make you feel too bad. I don't want you to go and cry into a corner.
To your deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. This very old, aged, wrinkled, and desiccated policeman.
Do you mind?
I believe I did not say desiccated, my dear fellow.
That would mean that he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it?
The killer policeman. Ottermole.
Sorry?
It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. A mystery on top of mysteries.
Yeah.
The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether.
Gone.
Gone!
And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Ottermole.
So, you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man there is supposed to be?
Indeed. It is a particularly grim face, is it not? Oh, that was a little pouty face.
It was, wasn't
there.
it?
Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well.
Did you
I'm
read Odious
sure.
Man?
I can smell him from a mile away. And I know it's not odorous.
But is £200 a lot of money for a wax model?
It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages. I probably should say that. It is enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things in perspective.
So it is quite a lot, then.
They are particularly detailed, though.
Is there anything else you wish to add?
Before I boil you, before
I boil your
what,
head.
What is it? What is it? Boil him. Before I boil you, mash you, and stick you in a stew.
Before I melt you down.
That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous.
Oh, the smell of that molten wax is starting to worry me.
Mr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so, bye, Mr. Sholmes. I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's all right. To make some minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions.
But of course, I would accept only a minor correction.
Of course it's all right. We'll soon set things straight.
I get the. I'm not quite sure that I like the way that you suggested that, Iris. It almost makes it sound like I've made a lot of multiple errors.
Really, you wound me. I only want to correct the minor, and I mean just one of many. But
I
only
feel
one,
like I heard
Hurley,
something.
only one.
Well, I suppose that's all right then.
Oh, excellent. Right, that's there's 1, 2, 3, 4,
So
5,
I
10 corrections I'd like to make.
And so while you do that, I'll just nip on over here and busy myself with my pipe for a bit and not pay too much attention
Yes,
to what
Madame
you're about to
Tusspells,
do, right?
if you could spare some of that wax and stick it in his ears, that would be perfect. And he can't hear anything.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, nothing, Hurley.
Nothing, go over there and pretend to be a statue again or something. Just pretend to be a good detective for a minute. Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame Tusspells vents her anger...
No.
Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame Tusspells, in accordance with our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and this small child and this lawyer
And temporary
and temporary exhibit at work.
Da 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 da. Course correction.
Hold it, Mr. Sholmes!
Oh my,
Oh, well, you've got a little bit forceful.
my dear fellow. Okay, to begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some £200.
That is all my own money.
So what does this large sum of money reveal? Ah, not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tusspells. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. My coat. Oh, no, sorry. The significance of the £200 is revealed by that public notice.
She definitely looked in this direction, it's true.
But I'm not sure she'd sell any of her waxworks, even for £200.
Oh?
She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything.
For that much money, I would. But it sounds like that makes me a bad person.
It really does.
Well, anyway, I wonder if the £200 could have some other significance.
Besides, if she holds onto them for a while, they might increase in value over time.
Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if there's anything else that could explain it.
Okay, let's see.
Have a look-see.
Oh,
Hello.
Note on
No,
the
on the
wall.
wall.
Well, it says
Okay.
200 right there.
It does. It does.
200 pounds.
What's that note doing pinned on the wall there?
It's like flabbergasted.
It's a very large pin.
Yeah, that is a huge pin.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Oh, yes, let's see. Dear Madame Tusspells,
That's not what it says. It does not say that.
lorem ipsum. Oh, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for his safe return is £200. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd October.
Wow, that's a lot of words for those 2 lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
You see, You see, Ringo, I told you. All we got to do is we take the statue, and then we'll disguise him as our third brother, and then no one will be any the wiser. We'll get £200, and we won't get arrested for kidnapping. It's the perfect plan.
That's all right, Nash, but why am I the one to carry it? You've got the eye. Oh, am I carrying it? I'm dragging it on the floor. Every time I drag it, it's getting smaller. It's chipping away the wax.
Look, next time you can come up with the idea, and then I'll carry it. Just, we got to make some room in the icebox. I forgot. Otherwise he'll melt. I should have thought of that one first.
I should put you in the bloody icebox.
I heard
All
that.
these crazy ideas that you keep having.
Oh,
honestly, we've tried the culinary profession, we've tried the milk bottle profession, milkman profession,
The gas profession.
the gas
as well.
profession, and now this. I think it's time to call it quits, Nash. I think we should retire. I'm getting too old for this.
You're only 22.
Exactly.
Where's your spirit? We're just the pioneers, you say, of the professional baddie business. And besides, once we get that £200, you're going to change your tune once we've got all the slugs on the salad that you could want.
When they're just like, can I have the salad, please? But I don't want any of this.
slug.
I don't want any of the salad. Just give me the slugs. Just the slugs. They're not even cooked. They're all just like
Alright.
wiggling around in the.
All right. I'll take your point. Can we at least upgrade to the exotic ocean water at least?
Oh, I'm just the more.
I really
I'm-
don't fancy that Thames stuff.
I'm
I
thinking
think
about
that
it.
Thames stuff might have given me gut rot, honestly.
Gut rot? No, blimey.
It's worry you ain't died of dysentery.
My,
It's a wonder.
my poor bottom was on fire.
Oh dear.
This is...
I probably won't put that waxwork in the arse thinking about it.
Okay.
I had to cool it off somehow.
Oh,
Oh.
dear. It's just
Put it
like the
back
sort
in
of
the
thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped.
I'm sorry. Oh dear.
So you're telling me that wasn't chocolate-flavoured ice then? Oh, dear. I think I'm going to be sick.
Please no. Please no, Nash. Tell me you didn't lick it.
Don't.
Don't tell me.
Can't say that.
Don't tell me. Oh dear.
Yes, it's a ransom note.
Exactly.
There we go.
I really will be disappointed if the Skulkin brothers are not the one who did this. I want them to come back.
Let's have a look at the portly man. It's
They
not
just keep
him. but-
coming back. They're the gift that keeps on giving them to.
It seems this well-dressed gentleman is alive after all, just not alive and kicking. And he's not a waxwork or a model of a mass murderer.
I'm not sure I'd pay £200 for him.
I don't think the man's up for sale.
Well, anyway, it was a silly place to put him. Other museum visitors could easily trip.
I don't think the man was put there on purpose either.
Honestly, health and safety these days is terrible.
The fire marshal's going to have a field day with them.
It does get me when Iris is like made out to be like as clever as she is, and then she'll come out with such blatant silliness as that.
Oh, we've got to present the note. I see.
Yeah, no, we have. I just wanted to see if there was anything else to click on.
Take that!
Take that.
Kaboom! Spinning.
The significance of the £200 is revealed by that ransom note.
Iris, my dear, is there any reason Mr. Naruhodo over there seems to be able to control the spotlights?
No reason.
Iris
I didn't make it so that his clicks would use it as well.
I just like to imagine that Iris is sat
I
there
gave
with
him
like a great
spotlight privileges.
privileges. I like to imagine that she's got like a great big remote control and she's actually doing it.
Yeah, she's the one doing it all along.
Yeah. Like Wallace and Gromit. The wrong trousers. Quite so. And we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness. Abducting a waxwork. £200 is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it.
The medal in question has special importance. So I put together all the money I have.
In summary, then, the £200 you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. By the way, I will add that this is exactly what I came up with beforehand. You're just confirming my theory. I was just trying to catch you all out.
I'm sure it was.
Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the £200.
So, if the waxwork was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who this man is?
We could just ask him when he comes round.
I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris.
Yes, you're right. Hurley's trying so hard. We mustn't let him down.
I'm
Well,
sorry,
he
did I
does
did I hear some banter amongst you two? Something about me.
No, Hurley, we're talking about you, not to you, dear.
You shouldn't. I thought my ears were burning. You shouldn't talk about people when they're still in front of you.
Hurley, your
Waxworks
ears
can't talk or hear, Mr. Sholmes. I suggest that you employ that strategy right now.
Little waxwork should be seen and not heard.
Like children. Wait.
I will admit that I feel that you've
Hey!
got me there. Fine.
And the
Fine.
only reason your ears are burning is because Madame Tusspells gladly provided the wax to bung up your ear rolls.
Your ear holes.
Ear holes.
Your ear holes. No, it's just.
Bomber!
No, it was good. It was good. Oh, all right then. Fine.
Yes, you're right. Hurley's trying so hard. We mustn't let him down.
Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. But in that case, what's Madame Tusspells trying to hide? Let's have a closer look around.
Let's see.
Oh, she's got something bad about
Hand?
a hand.
Hand of Madame.
Yeah, she's got hold of it. So,
She.
Yep.
is she what?
What is going on?
This is just Madame Tusspells' right hand, isn't it?
Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after... You know what? Actually, no. Given that the skin tone is completely different and the size of the hand is completely different, I should be able to immediately come to the conclusion that it is not her hand.
And let's also add that it is indeed a left hand, so it can't possibly be her right hand because it is a left hand that we're looking at.
Oh, but wait a minute. This is a left hand as well. Look.
See?
Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please!
And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's...
God damn it. She's a child. Stop. Don't say that.
It's really hard.
You mean... It's made
Yes.
of wax?
The waxwork hand.
Interesting.
Right. Click.
Take that! What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand.
Indeed. With a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow.
How could you?
The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that, in fact, it's a left hand.
And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madame. It is the hand of a waxwork model.
Oh dear.
Is that all that's left of the model that they took?
Maybe. Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage.
And then I hit them. And they
I hit
cause
them
no more
all.
trouble. So you mean that arm?
Oui, this gentleman saw fit to try and remove it as a souvenir.
Oh.
Wow. No small keepsake. Look at freaking Ryunosuke's face.
He's like, I can't believe that even occurred to him.
No small keepsake.
Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms.
Yeah, what an asshole.
I am afraid I had to teach the man a lesson.
I mean, honestly,
Fair.
I'm kind of with her on that. Like,
I think I would as well if you went round breaking your hard work.
You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back.
and the result? The scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later, but for the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped. And that's the
It's
first
more
point.
wax napped,
Yep.
surely.
Wax snapped. Second
Or
part.
adult napped.
No, that's what I do.
The master napper. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment. It does bug me that it goes through the whole thing again.
I mean, I suppose you don't have to read through it again, but
I
either way.
suppose.
I guess.
You cannot possibly.
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there.
Is that his arm? That's why it's turned that way. He's the waxwork, and it's his arm that's been ripped off.
Yeah.
Who is this fellow? We need only observe his neckerchief. By the way, I can't skip the text. I'm pressing the button, it wasn't skipping it.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yep.
According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway.
A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes. It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scottish Yard, although Hurley's just spilled the beans again.
That Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away again.
Oh. I think that just skipped.
Oh, did it?
Did it skip? Or did
Did
you...
it?
Oh,
No.
I thought that was... sorry, Taylor. I thought that was you just saying
No, he actually said it.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I'm
When
sorry.
Ryunosuke and Taylor become one.
When the great minds think alike and
Yeah.
all that.
Well, uncovering secrets is any true detective's nature, of course.
Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Tusspells' reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction,
Actually, wait. Wasn't one of them saying, I can't remember if it was Ryunosuke or Sholmes, was one of them saying that she probably wouldn't like to part with her waxworks?
yeah. Well, Iris
And yet
just said it.
Iris said
And
it,
yet
yeah.
it's interesting because there's
Sholmes
literally
is still
a
going
sign,
on about it. Yeah, you would
No.
think that he would amend what?
There's literally a sign on the wall that says statues
Yeah,
available,
please
please
inquire.
inquire. Just a bit weird.
Statues,
like,
but
custom
not
made.
not the waxworks necessarily.
Well, there'd be wax statues, surely.
Maybe that... maybe, like, it's not her ones in the museum. Maybe they make them.
Maybe.
oh yeah, maybe
maybe
that's
it's-
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe not, like, ones that she's already got. You can't buy them, like, as they are. Like, what she's got on display, you can't buy them. Maybe they make, like, a custom
If
version
only
or
we
a
could
mini version.
enquire.
Yeah. Have I skipped somebody's dialogue,
No.
by the way?
I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly. So we're gonna turn around, and his arm's gonna be, yep.
There
Oh,
it
would
is.
you look at that?
What the? This man has a stub sticking out of his shoulder where his arm should be.
Ah, well, that settles that then.
Right, this isn't a real person at all.
His entire arm's been ripped off from the shoulder down.
His arm's been... Of course, that ties in with what we just found out. Take that! Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his shoulder stub.
No such boneless human walks this earth. Of that, I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact defying all odds. A waxwork model.
I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes.
Details, my dear
Ryunosuke calling him
narrator.
out there. Iris? Yep, cut the lights.
The problem here is that Sholmes is not going to get his 50 shillings.
No.
At this rate.
He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man.
Naturally. What other explanation could there be?
Oh, I don't know. And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it?
Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with the particularly unsightly visage, whatever. I have been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle, almost in fact as if he were a waxwork.
But you...
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe.
I wonder if Rolly's had to pawn his
I am
scarf.
wondering. Yeah.
That would make sense.
I am wondering.
The telltale sign that proves whether it's a wax figure. Blah, blah, blah.
A killer policeman called Otomo, was it? Was he well known?
It was all over the papers last year. I can't say that I know what he looks like. It's a very low price, though. Threepence isn't much money.
Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Garradip's delightful lodgings, in fact.
I'm sorry, that doesn't sound very fair. My lodgings are quite delightful indeed.
It's the inflation.
I was going to say, inflation. Pounds been as weak as it ever has been.
It's the energy prices, you know. It's
Yeah.
quite expensive with all the imports and all that.
They've
So,
got to
yeah.
supply gas to a bally 5 houses now. You can't expect the price to stay the same.
No, it's a very competitive market, you know.
So this is the special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for £200? Is this crusty old killer policeman Otomo? Really?
They really love saying how crusty he is, don't
Yeah,
they?
they're
Oh, dear.
really nice to him.
Perhaps we should have a good look around again and see if another idea crops up.
I really hope he's not a waxwork.
Yeah.
I re-
Oh, he's tapping his foot.
He's getting offended at being
He's
called
gonna
crusty.
twitch.
You know, it's only so long a man can sit here and be insulted before he starts being liable to whack people with his cudgel, nightstick, bobby stick, billy stick, billy club.
I don't know, you know.
What?
Look at this!
It's truncheon.
It's truncheon.
Truncheon! That's the word.
Truncheon.
Yeah.
The old man's tapping his foot like crazy. Oh, that's what I do when I sit down for too long.
He seems to be fast asleep, though.
He's not tapping his foot consciously then? So you mean...
It must be a twitch.
He's got restless legs.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
Never mind that! The point is waxworks don't tap their feet.
Or twitch.
And look at his arm, too. It's like just he's got this middle finger pointing upwards.
Yeah.
Just wherever they stand, it always seems to be pointing at them.
Yeah.
We've seen a scarf like that somewhere else around here, haven't we?
I don't know about around here, but it would be Rolly.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
that
yeah.
scarf.
Yeah.
Sorry, how stupid of me.
I don't believe it.
It's the secret sign that lets other detectives know some criminal activity is
Not for
underway.
much longer if you keep shouting it to the skies.
Oh, Gregsy, just have some tea and calm down. You're not yourself when you're thirsty.
Not very much. Yes, it's a slightly strange choice of outfit if he was trying to go unnoticed.
Oh, he must be a detective disguised as a policeman.
It's the perfect disguise. No one will suspect. Or a detective disguised as a waxwork model of a policeman.
He doesn't look like he's very clever enough to think of something like that, though.
Oof.
Oof.
Everyone's so rude nowadays. Kids are going down the crapper. Perhaps you should try to be a little more polite about him, Iris?
So I think the tapping foot.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
tapping.
'cause he's
foot.
saying
Whether or not
he's-
this
he's-
Because wait, hang on, what is it? Sorry, the telltale sign that proves whether or not he's a waxwork.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the twitch.
Take that!
Come on.
The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch.
Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, this splendid old man, not crusty whatsoever, is in fact a genuine member of Scottish Yard.
A slight shift in your choice of adjectives, then.
What?
Just Ryunosuke.
Oh, his face, yeah.
He's just like so disgusted with it. And there you have it. Well, Madame Tusspells.
Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place. Oh, he is clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep.
But then, what's this tag about showing a price of 3 pence?
No doubt the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby purchased recently at a local market. And I presume you've observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes! The secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway.
And who told you about that dear secret sign, my boy?
I have no idea.
I think it might have been a great detective of some fame.
Of course. Because as you know, there has been such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, detective.
Ah, yes, indeed. The perfect deduction. So it would seem that we finally arrive at the truth. And it's time for... Oh, boy.
Here we go.
You ready, Tail?
The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped.
I mean, I said it already, but we didn't count down or anything.
Well, no, it's only Ryunosuke saying it for the minute anyway.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
So
both of
it's
them.
true. And Scottish Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle, with absolutely no assistance from anyone else whatsoever. And he's looking straight at you.
Aw, they didn't have a chance to say the same thing.
Oh. Still a mystery.
Or maybe deduction complete.
Elementary.
Fade to black. Oh, okay.
All sorts of people visit my museum here. Men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly.
And for that, I have this knife.
Whoa. No, I have my cauldron of wax.
My cauldron of wax.
Anyway.
Swoosh. And then she disappears in a puff of smoke.
Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe.
That's why he's got the spotlights and why he twirls around, because he's distracting everyone from all of the stupid deductions he's made.
A misdirection, as it were.
Yes. It was a pleasure, my dear madame. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle.
However, I'm only going to pay you off because you only did half a job.
And as for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display. If it was indeed genuinely abducted.
I've changed my mind.
Are you trying to scam the insurance company, I wonder?
Oui. Tragically it was.
Then I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please.
Very well. But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work.
I mean, it's not as if there are any customers in here right now, but fine, sure, okay.
Do you want to get paid?
The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel. But as you wish. Super detective. Right, then let's...
Do you want the cape as well to go with it? That would be extra.
My.
Tell us
That
more
might be a good idea.
about the stolen waxwork, please.
It was some days ago now when I came in here one morning. I immediately noticed that a waxwork was missing from a special exhibit here.
It is your most prominent display. So that's why the curtains were closed?
Oh, sorry, that's where I said that wrong. And I found the ransom note in its place.
The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then.
So this waxwork that was stolen, it was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose?
Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. What are you laughing at?
Are we betting it's Jack the Ripper?
Oh, for God's sake.
Because Taylor said
Oh, we've
before,
got
didn't
Jane the Ripper. Was it Jane the Ripper?
It was
Yeah.
kind of like, yes, there was.
She's on the other side.
I'm trying to think who else was a particularly bad one.
The killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other. I would say... Oh, sorry, I'll say that again.
Oh, that
The killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say. The prosecutor.
Oh,
Le professor.
Professor Edgeworth!
Got him!
no.
Le professor.
So, yeah, this now explains a comment someone left before about the music box and the... Or something. It was like a...
Oh,
was it,
yeah, the
was it
watchword being the
McGilded's
professor.
watchword?
Yeah,
Yes.
Not a name I've heard of.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, it seems the circle is complete.
Sorry?
The professor case happened at around the same time I was born, didn't it?
Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital.
10 years ago?
That's what I said. Yes, at exactly the time that Baroque van Zeeks graduated from university, in fact.
What? Surely he's not saying...
So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life.
Oh.
As you've surmised, it was the professor case.
Who was this professor then?
Nobody knows. Except Madame Tusspells, who's going to divulge, I expect.
It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death.
And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of the abduction.
But I don't understand. How is all this related to Lord Van Zeeks?
You must first understand, my dear fellow, why it is that the professor earned such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's finest.
Oh, has he, murdered some of his family or something?
What do you mean, Hurley?
Those murdered by the professor were some of the highest members
his
of
brother.
of the British aristocracy. Members of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country's administration.
Members of the... wait, of course! What Professor Harebrain said. Lord Van Zeeks is from a family with noble blood.
Oh, gosh!
It was the fifth victim that led to the professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of Dun dun dun. Clint Van Zeeks.
Oh.
No! I don't believe it! Van Zeeks! Must be a common name.
Yes, my dear fellow, I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Baroque pursued a career as a prosecutor and eventually became the Reaper we know today.
I had no idea Lord Van Zeeks had such a tragic past.
No. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter, for the time being at least. After all, I have work to do.
As a waxwork exhibit.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
As a waxwork exhibit.
I'm afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well.
Oh, yes, of course. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. And I'm single.
Well, I'm not. I am married to my work.
Oh, very good, very good.
Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here.
Oh?
Oh, okay, yes. Oh, so that would be harebrained, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose. Excuse me. Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. It's been too long. It really has. I'm delighted to see you, Brock. It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in a prison of all places. I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Asman. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen. Tomorrow, the court will decide. Yes. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though.
Oh,
Did you
poor
say?
It
Did you say?
it wasn't. Ugh. It was an accident. A terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it.
But can he prove it?
I don't know. Can he?
I don't know, Mr. Prosecutor. We're going to have to find out next time.
It's Professor, actually. I'll have you know. It's Professor Van
I'm
Professor
sorry.
Van Zeeks, I've been looking all over for you.
You imbecile.
Oh, what have I started? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you do like what we do, then don't forget to give us a like, subscribe, ring that notification bell so you'll be notified of our video uploads every Wednesday and Saturday. And feel free to drop a comment down below as well.
Yeah.
And until next time, we'll see you again.
Catch you in the next one, everybody.
And remember, if you ever happen to be standing around lifelike waxwork sculptures, probably don't insult them to their face because you never know, it might be a real person, and then you'll feel rude.